Yeah. So, hello, I'm Paul Scott. I used to go to Aberdeen University from what was it, 2006, 2011, where I did undergraduate and a postgraduate. Um, and now I'm in Houston, Texas. And yeah, happy to chat to you guys today.
Thank you very much. So the first question is, can you tell me about your decision to attend University of Aberdeen and what factors influence your choice?
Yeah, good question. Well, both my parents went to Aberdeen University, and my two older sisters. The honest answer is I actually wanted to go to Edinburgh University, but they actually rejected me. So I ended up going to Aberdeen, and I don't have no regrets about it. But yeah, originally I thought I'd end up going to Edinburgh and go against my family, but I ended up going there. It was my second choice. My gran lived in Aberdeen. My family a lot. My mum was originally from there, so I had that's why it was on my list. And I ended up there because of the whole Edinburgh situation. But it was the same with a lot of my friends that year. All of us seemed to get rejected by Edinburgh, and then we all ended up going to Aberdeen. So
Yeah. So you mentioned that you did a postgraduate. So what prompted you to go and do that postgraduate in Aberdeen?
the honest answer is that after doing my undergraduate, I didn't really think I was ready for the real life, and I played football the whole time, and I really wanted to play another year of football. Um, So those kind of two factors, I loved my time in Aberdeen. I wanted to keep playing football, and I wasn't really ready to grow up. Is the honest answer to that question.
That's great. What were some of your favorite courses and electives during your time at University of Aberdeen?
That's a good question. You're making me try and remember. So my course was I did management studies and economics, and I always quite enjoyed management studies just because um, don't know, it's kind of quite grounded in reality. I think in economics, I found that all was obviously quite theoretical, whereas in management studies, it was all kind of more real life examples. So I kind of I related to that a bit better. So I remember doing one of the semesters of management was on change management, and I really quite enjoyed that. And I think one in my professional career, that's one of the only courses that I kind of think back to like a lot of stuff I learned there. So that'd be my
All right.
so I'd
That's
say.
very interesting.
Were there any particular challenges or obstacles you faced during your time at Aberdeen?
Challenges or obstacles? In, I can't really think of many. I really, really enjoyed the 5 years. I'm sure. I guess the exam time was quite tough. Having to study and not do other things, I think was tough. It involves some discipline. But nothing really stands out for any particular challenges. I was quite settled and good friend group and enjoyed most of it. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. You already mentioned that you played football during your time at university. Were there any other student organization or club that you've been involved in?
No, football was the main one.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that meant I was involved with the sports union quite closely because I was part of the football team. And then I guess I did an Aberdeen University fashion show one year. I can't remember which organisation that was for, but that was quite fun. So no, it was mostly just the football team and then the sports union because of that.
No, that's great.
So you mentioned your nice friend group. So were these friendships made in Aberdeen, and like do you still keep in touch with them?
Yeah, so basically, no, I do, yeah. So basically, I went to school in Dundee, and then about I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 of my friend group at Dundee High School ended up going to Aberdeen. So we all still are friends this day. But then there was basically met with this other school from Edinburgh, like the Stuart Melville's school, and there's about 8 of them, and then like our rate met with their rate, and then to this day we're still like kind of best friends. Although I've kind of fled to America, but when I go back, we always kind of spend time together. So yeah, good connections there.
That's great. What were your career aspirations while attending University of Aberdeen and upon finishing it?
So I've probably been too. I really didn't know. I did management and economics because I was interested in it, but I never really. I really didn't know. I was a little lost. Sport was always my passion. So I kind of hoped I would end up in some sort of role, like kind of management role or in sport. So I was looking into like sports marketing and so on. And I really didn't know. I kind of got fortunate with kind of accidentally stumbled into a job after work, and then my career's kind of taken off from there. So that I didn't really have. Some people, you go and study medicine, you're going to be a doctor. You study law, you're going to be a lawyer. I never really had that, and I was kind of fortunate in the way my career's kind of ended up because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So yeah.
Yeah. So how did your degree in particular help you succeed in your career life?
I think just the discipline around, learning, applying that to, exams. I think that's kind of the big thing, is just being able to absorb information and try and use it practically. I think that was my biggest kind of learning from the whole thing. I think I referenced earlier, some of the stuff I did in management studies with change management and stuff, I think has helped. But really it was more just like the kind of the discipline of studying and applying your kind of brain to problem solving and so on. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Probably doesn't.
What are some key factors that help you to keep you motivated during your education?
I guess, although I didn't know what I wanted to do as a career, I realized the importance of having a degree, and I also am quite competitive. So if my friends were getting good degrees, I didn't want to not get a good degree. So I think that played into it. And then because I had such a good time, I think just I think playing football also motivated me. And just the two of those things together just meant I was kind of driven, I guess.
All right, yeah.
Answer your question.
So can you describe your job and responsibilities as the principal program manager at Microsoft? And how do these responsibilities differ from things that you have done in the past?
Yeah, so basically my role is, so I work with our in the heavy asset industry, so oil and gas, pharmaceutical, manufacturing, and basically I work with, Microsoft strategic customers and talk about how they can digitally transform their business. So how can they bring more automation to plant floors? How can they apply all this AI to drive more efficiency in their business? So I guess the main part of what I have to do is it's kind of like consulting, but then I also work with our technology, our technical teams to actually build solutions. So the main thing I kind of probably do is a lot of listening. And then I also have to kind of educate our clients on how they can use a technology to change their business. But then with technology and implementing technology, there comes a lot of change management. So there's a whole kind of like a consultant, a technical consultant, if you will. And often I'm dealing with people who I meet with. They run these big. They're great at making food products, or they're great at getting oil out of the ground, or they're great at making cars or whatever, but they don't quite understand the technology part. So I guess I have to do a lot of education, and then I have to be able to simplify what I know and then try to put it in their language. So a lot of it's just kind of a lot of situational awareness, and then just applying kind of some common sense.
Yes, that's very interesting. Thank you. How would you say your mindset and way of working have changed since attending Aberdeen?
How my mindset.
Yes, and way of working changed since then.
I think, I feel so old, but I guess I graduated, what, 12 years ago? So I think it's just like understanding how the world goes round. I think when I first started working, I was just so kind of naive to like how to, I guess, be successful. I kind of accident when I started my first job, you're kind of like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing. Where am I? How do I communicate? And then you just kind of just keep growing. You get more and more exposure to tough situations, and you just kind of keep building experience, really. So I feel like I'm quite good, I think, at learning from experiences, learning from tough situations. Because I think all my career I've kind of been thrown into the deep end, and just figuring out how to survive some of those tough conversations, and then just kind of made me probably a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
It's going to be a gradual process, I would say.
So, what are some of the major initiatives or projects that you were part of in your career so far that you could talk about?
I can talk about. That's a good question. So yeah, I guess the public use. So basically, my career was I went into an oil and gas logistics company where we developed warehouse kind of freight warehouse systems and like supply chain visibility type solutions. And then we went and then about 14 of us went and did a startup. And one of our customers was a customer called Unilever. As our start was about 30 of us. And basically, we kind of led their digital transformation. So the solutions that we built were deployed to like 107 Unilever sites. So Unilever, our company, make so many different things. Like they make Dove soap, they make mayonnaise, they make all these types of things. And as a small startup, we were able to roll out our technology to 107 sites, get them to be a data-driven company, and then so they could like increase the quality of their Dove soap by 14% as a public use case. And it's like we did that, and then I guess more recently, I guess we've done a lot of work with like energy customers, so like BP, so help them kind of with their carbon aware operations, so how they can be more sustainable. So those are some of the fun projects. And then recently I've been working a lot with automotive companies and how they can like get AI into their daily processes. So that's kind of been fun and exciting because AI is so new. It's quite fun area.
Yeah. Seems like an interesting place to be. So naturally, you must have encountered a lot of stress in your life, and in university as well. A lot of students face stress. So how would you give any advice for students who may be struggling with that?
Stress. So I think well, if I don't exercise, so endorphins for me are big. So it's not for everyone, but like getting a workout in, getting a walk, getting fresh air is really important for me because like, you have a stressful call and you think, oh no, they maybe thought did I say this right? Did I do this? And then, I've got a dog, so I'll go out and walk the dog and be like, oh, the grass is still green, the sky is still blue, it's kind of okay. So I think just like remembering that if you're in work or in studying for an exam, it's not really what life's about. Like, sure, it's going to help you in your way, but like, family is more important. The world around you is more important. So I think that's how I've kind of done it. And then the other thing is just often like people, customers, or whatever can be your stress or your lecturer, your classmate or whatever. And I think just if you just take a step back, they're just kind of humans. You're just like you, really. They might be being not nice to you or whatever, but at the end of the day, they're just a human, and does it really matter what they think of you? And like, it's stressful, but like, just try and remember what life's about. If that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Thank you.
Don't take it too seriously.
That's perfect advice. Thank you. During your time at university, did you engage in any internships, part-time jobs, or volunteering experience?
Um, so yes, well, I didn't do any internships, but I actually worked as the university groundskeeper.
Mm-hmm.
So during the summer, they're picking up litter on King's Lawn, or I'd be cutting the grass. So every summer I did that for, what was it, 12 weeks. So I did that for 4 years. I really enjoyed it. Although it was a bit strange going around the campus, and then some of my friends were back graduating, and they'd all be in the graduation gear, and I'd be there in my high-vis vest picking up litter. But it was quite funny at the time. But no, I enjoyed that. So that was my. I only did that during summer. During semesters, I didn't. I mean, I used to work a little bit at Tiger. I don't know if that's still there. Probably not. It used to be a bar down near the harbour. But yeah, that's what I did.
All right. So many students graduating university often struggle with the transition from the educational world into starting their career. So how was that for you? And do you have any advice regarding that?
So for me, it was really tough actually. So after graduating, I handed in my dissertation for my master's on the Friday, and I went to start my career at Pentagon on the Monday. So I really had no time off. And then I was still living in Aberdeen because I ended up working out at DICE, where the office was. And a lot of my friends kind of went back to Dundee, they went to Edinburgh, they went to Glasgow, and I was just kind of left still in Aberdeen, no longer, being part of the football team or going on nights out with my friends. I was kind of there. I felt quite alone, and then I was just adapting to, this is reality now. I have to work 9 to 5, and I have to get up at 8 a.m. or 6 a.m. and scrape the ice off my windows to drive the DICE. So it was quite challenging. I think what really helped me was I did actually start to enjoy my job. So I just was quite driven, and it was all new to me, but I just wanted to learn. And then the thing that actually really helped me was I was able to travel with my work.
Yes.
So for the first 6-7 months, I don't think I left Aberdeen, but then I got one trip out to Houston in December 2011, and I was like, I want to move here. And then I started traveling to Dubai, Papua New Guinea, Australia, consistently, and just getting that whole kind of fresh perspective really helped. Obviously, not everyone will get travel through work. I was probably quite fortunate there, but I don't know if that's any advice. I guess it was more my journey, but I think just try at work, it's going to be new, but just you got to try and figure out what your path is, but the only way to do that is to be driven, commit to your work, be passionate about it. You'll figure it out. Maybe travel.
Thank you. That's great. Can you share any advice or insight for students who are interested in your type of career, your current type of career?
Yeah, so I'm now very much in technology, and I really knew nothing about technology. I wasn't really interested in it through my university career. I on my first week on the job, I got caught Googling what is a server, which was kind of embarrassing, but I've kind of, kept going. So I would say, if you really want to get into technology, you need to understand AI. So I would start researching AI, not just ChatGPT and all that stuff, but look up, research how AI is shaping industry, because it is the next thing. That in my world of business, every conversation I have with customers is how can AI change your business? How can we drive our transformation with that? So I would really study AI if you want to understand it. If you want to get into technology, because it's going to change everything. And then just, I think, yeah, so that'd probably be my advice. I do think AI is going to change every single job out there for the better. People are going to, it's good, people are, like, there's going to be less admin, people are going to have to do more problem solving. So I would just keep my eye on that if I was coming out of university. And that was stuff I wouldn't have known coming out of university. I had no, I wasn't researching, I didn't know what was going on in the world. I just kind of fell into this. So do some reading up on AI, I would say.
So,
Thank you.
what contributed to your journey going from at the start and working at Pentagon as an insight support engineer to a principal program manager at Microsoft? And how was that journey like evolving through the time?
The journey was, to be honest, quite crazy. So I've been very fortunate in my career that one of the guy who originally got me my job, he is just quite an incredibly talented entrepreneur type guy, who's now the CVP for emerging technologies at Microsoft. So I've kind of gone on quite a crazy trajectory. Which I don't think I've been very fortunate. So going from like trying to figure out how to, scanning barcodes in a warehouse, that was what my life was. I was trying to figure out how do we build a technology that helps you better scan a barcode so I know where my freight is, to then trying to figure out how can I tell Unilever how to optimize their factories and make better Dove soap, to now advising like a lot of the kind of big customers in the world how AI can transform their business. So it's just been an absolute whirlwind, kind of probably quite a unique journey that I've been, again, probably not, I've been the only, Andy Pratt is the CVP for emerging technologies, the genius, but the only way I've kind of been able to keep up is just by being driven and getting stuck in. So yeah, it's been a crazy journey that I would have never, ever predicted.
Yeah.
Basically, the startup that we started after Pentagon was then acquired by Microsoft. So that's how I ended up at a big corporate machine.
Okay.
So yeah, that whole journey.
That's very interesting. And the last question for the day is, if you could go back in time, would you change anything about your time at university, and would you give yourself any advice?
Would I change anything? I really have really fond memories of university. Would I change anything? I don't know. Probably go more nights out. I really enjoyed it. I think I used the football. I used to love the football. I used to love it. And I think the only advice I would probably say, and I sound so old, and it's sad that I'm so old, but it's just make the most of it. Because like those 5 years, like of seeing your friends every day, and like sure, like the university and the football and that was great, but like those like friendships and that daily interaction with people, like you don't quite get it after. Like you find new things, but like just make the most of not being in the working world, because it just changes. It's still better. Like your life continues to get better, I guess, but like just it's a unique time. So savor it. Oh man, I'm so old. This is terrible. I'm not that old, I swear, but I'm so old. I sound like a grandpa. So yeah, that'll be my advice.
Thank you very much.